Good morning or good afternoon, guys. First or second period. I don't think they're in that order tomorrow. Um, I'm making this video today so that tomorrow, I'm making this video today, which for you guys is yesterday, so that tomorrow, which for you guys is today, you can see this. Because the issue is, I know you hate the Hoody files. I get that, but I'm very sick today, again, which is yesterday, and I don't think I'm going to be there tomorrow again, which is for you guys today. It's relative, it's tricky, I understand. We'll get by it. But anyways, I'm going to do the best I can to give you a quick lecture, a quick rundown of what I need you to do today, which is tomorrow, today for you guys. And Miss McIntosh, I know you hate it. You're sitting over there. You hate it when I do the Hoody files because I'm not very animated, and you're used to me being animated. So here I am being animated. Ah! Promise, that's all I've got the energy for today. As soon as I get done with this, I'm going right back to bed. So just bear with me. Let's get through this quickly. First thing is, I've sent you a class outline in the email. This goes all the way up to May 17th. Day 1 through 7, you will see that it's a little screwy because for first period, this was senior day, so you're already a little bit behind. I will make adjustments to this. But everything you're going to do between now and then leads up to the 17th, which is in the week before exams. So you'll have time over that weekend to study for exams. And this is an exam that will be on the Middle East, but primarily, like 95%, on the Israeli-Palestinian issue. Okay? For period 2, it's a little bit more reasonable because today you're on day 1, but you're going to be a little bit behind, and we will adjust as best as I can. Okay? When you get down to the class outline, you will see that it's fundamentally the same as every other class outline you've had. You have objectives and activities. This is pretty much the objective and the activities today. The only difference is you will notice in the homework that it says identify terms and concepts from partition topics section of your study guide. There are no specific readings. We're not in the textbook for this section. I'm bringing this all from outside sources. So your readings are whatever you need to do to manage the material and the essential questions on the study guide. You also have a take-home quiz that's emailed to you. I'll talk about it in a minute, and that's what you need to work on today because that will be due in our next class. The study guides are a little bit different than they've been in the past because I've broken them up into sections. So for today, you're dealing only with these terms, partition as a political tool, and you have a few essential questions to deal with just this unit. There are 3 little sections. Each of them has a separate page on the study guide. So today, just focus on this section right here. Some of these terms you'll recognize from our World War I discussions, okay? But I want you to put them in context of the crisis in the Middle East about territory, culture, nationalities, and partitions especially, okay? Focus on the essential questions. As always, they are far more important than knowing 100 details about these things, but you can use these to answer the essential questions. So today's plan is to introduce this unit, which is the Middle East, and I've already basically done that. I know I keep saying the Middle East, and I will keep saying the Middle East, but fundamentally we're going to work on the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, which is in the news practically every day. The main reason we're doing that is because it is really the hottest topic in the Middle East, and it's one that everybody should have some fundamental awareness about. But the secondary reason is that that's the issue that forms the basis of the essay question you will be asked on the final exam. So if from this moment forward you are thinking about the Israeli-Palestinian crisis, you are effectively preparing yourself for the biggest part of the final exam. What you're going to do today is right here. You're going to do group or individual work on the study guide, going ahead and identifying those terms as they relate to the Middle East, as they relate to partitioning, and you are going to work simultaneously on quiz number 1, which is called Partition Quiz. I've emailed that to you. It's due in your next class. The trickiest question on this quiz is the last one, where I ask you to go out to a website and read a short editorial that's on that website. I want you to put a lot of thought and effort into that question. That's where the biggest, most important part of that quiz is. You don't have to answer it with a full 5-paragraph essay, but I want to see your own individual opinions, your informed opinion on that based on what you know and what you can learn from outside sources. You may feel free to work with the presentation that I'm showing you, which is on Google Docs, and you can use any sources available. Your textbook is not going to be very helpful here. You're going to need to go outside to journals, websites, and use each other, work together. Pick a class leader if you want. I don't care how you do this. If you want to work in small groups or one large group, that's fine. It does not matter to me. I also would like you to think about and discuss, looking forward, think about and discuss some of the stereotypes that people associate with the Jewish nationality or the Jewish culture. I know it will seem a bit racist and a bit off to be discussing that, but it is a scholarly exercise, and we're going to deal with some of these as we move forward and look at some of the historical reasons for some of the stereotypes, okay? This is the background for the Middle East, and this is the section that you're working on today, partition as a political tool. I'm going to fly through a couple of these slides. All of these are available, and a couple more on Google Docs, so you can go back and use them. First off, this is a map of the Middle East. I would like you to be very familiar with this map, but fundamentally, I need you to know where Israel and this strip of land right here, Israel and Palestine, okay? It's all right here, and that's what we're going to be talking about. The rest of these places are all in the news, and they're all important, but this is where all of our discussion is going to center for the next couple of weeks. What do we think about this region? When you hear about this region, it's always in the news because of violence, conflict, religious issues, religious schisms, and anti-American sentiment. The reality, however, is that this region, up until World War I, was generally peaceful, generally stable. After World War I, because of the influence of Britain, France, Russia, and yes, America, they set up a very unstable system of partitions. You will remember it as the mandate system. This is an issue of World War I. I want you to think a little bit about Gallipoli right here, why it was so important for the British to get through to the Black Sea. Okay, so think about the reasons they wanted to fight the Battle of Gallipoli, and I know it was a terrible loss, but think about why they needed to get to this region, why it helped them in World War I, and why they enlisted the Arab states or the Arab peoples to try to start up some sort of revolution in Turkey. This revolution was called the Arab Revolt. You will actually remember it most because we dealt a lot with Lawrence of Arabia, okay? Remember in our World War I section, or right after World War I, we talked about Lawrence of Arabia helping the Arabs unite. In reality, the Arabs were very effective, even without him, and this really brought Britain, France, the Western powers into close relationships with the Arabs, and that's important for these issues of partition. All of this sort of leads and ties into the Balfour Declaration, the text of which is over here, but you can get the text off of any website. I want you to look carefully at the Balfour Declaration and what it promises to the Jewish people, and look especially at where it promises these things to the Jewish people. Okay? That's a very important issue for this partition and what sets up the Palestinian, you see there, Israeli crisis, starting off as early as 1916 and continuing today to 2012. That's what you need to be focused on. Distortions in reality, this is what I'm asking you to talk about Jewish stereotypes. Okay, we're going to deal with this in a class discussion next time, but I'd like you to spend a little bit of time working on this, maybe after you've read through the Balfour Declaration, if you have time after taking this quiz, okay? All of this leads to a partitioning of the Arab world. The Treaty of Versailles was ending the war to end all wars, but it's referred to as the peace to end all peace, because when Britain and France involve themselves in the Middle East, they partition and they break it up. Here's an area that's going to be British control, here's an area that's French control, Russian control, British control down here. And we have to ask what motivates them. So I want you to look at why the Western powers want to be so involved in the Middle East. That's important. And down here, this international zone, as it's called, becomes Israel, but it's not Israel at this time. So you need to look at how this strip of land gets ripped away from certain peoples and given to other peoples, and asked, and you need to ask the question, why would they do this, and why did they think this would work? This is where the Sykes-Picot Agreement comes into play. That's one of the terms that you need to look at, and it's also important for your quiz. So take a look at that, and look at this idea of partitioning the Arab world. All of this leads to the mandate system. You'll remember this again. We discussed this. All mandates is a new name, I don't know, a more politically correct name for colony. Mandates were, as this bullet says, a desire to help those, air quotes, those who were not ready for the modern world. Inherently, that sounds a bit imperial, maybe a bit racist to assume that there are other peoples in the world that are not ready to be as civilized as the Britons and as the French were, even though these cultures had been around for far longer than the British culture had been around. All of this gets the Americans involved, and this is what you need to be focused on, is how these mandates break up. See, Palestine becomes British and is eventually going to become Israel. How does that become the Palestinian-Israeli crisis? So, I say that this was the piece to end all peace. Question mark for the end? No, this isn't the end. If you go to this presentation on Google Docs, you will see that there are additional slides that have been put in the middle to help you understand a little bit better. But my time is basically up, and I need you guys to focus today on the study guide, especially the essential questions, and quiz number 1. I will try to get on email as much as possible today, which is for me tomorrow. You guys, it's today. I'm at home most likely. If you're watching this, definitely. And I wish you luck. But if you have questions, let me know. Don't worry about the schedule. The thing you need to focus on is please have that quiz ready to turn in electronically when I see you next time. Feel free to work together on it, support each other. I'm not worried that you come to individual conclusions. I'm worried that you help each other understand what is definitely a very, very tricky situation to analyze. Okay? Sorry I couldn't be there. You know how much I want to be there for every day between now and the end of school. I'm not looking forward to the end of school, and I have so little time left with you guys. It really bothers me to miss this chance. But do your best, and I look forward to seeing you as soon as I get back. Thank you very much. Goodbye.